Hello, beautiful people. Today is 8th of October. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Friends, today there might be little bit disturbance into the video in between as I am somewhere out. Today is my sister's exam, so I am just sitting outside the examination center and recording this video. So due to that limitation, there will also be not the visual part. So guys, please manage like this. But from tomorrow, the same format will be restored again. So guys, first of all, let's have a look on today's GS folder. So we'll take a quote from the Karl Barth. Now, Karl Barth is a Swiss theologian and he had defined gratitude into the form of joy. He says, joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Now guys, first of all, let's understand what is gratitude. Now, when you feel thankful to some act or when you feel moved by some particular kind of activity or some gesture, you show your gratitude. And the best way to show that gratitude is to show your joy, that is the happiness that you have felt by that particular act. And guys, basically to pay back by the gratitude is the highest form of thankfulness. Now guys, we can utilize this particular quote in GS paper number 4. And guys, if you have followed the UPSC question papers, you might also be knowing that UPSC is in habit of asking question on such kind of things. For example, the question onto the happiness has already been asked into the mains examination. So guys, onto that particular note, this particular quote becomes very much relevant for our exam. So guys, that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now guys, first of all, let's have an overview of the entire newspaper first. Guys, you can join our Telegram channel for daily PDF of the current affairs as well as for the infographics that we are using in our newspaper discussion. The link for the Telegram has been given into the description. Now guys, the first news is with respect to the Supreme Court's observation of the protest carried by the Shaheen Bagh onto the public places. So guys, with respect to the fundamental rights, we'll see this particular article. After that guys, moving forward, the same guys protest etc. and all these kind of things are going on. Friends, you clearly don't need to see that thing. Then guys, these advertisements are there. Moving forward. Now guys, directly we will be reaching to the editorial page. Now guys, this particular editorial talks about the Quad as how the Quad countries can cooperate and they should not be driven solely by the USA. Guys, I think more than 8 to 10 times the Quad article we have already taken up. Now guys, this particular article talks that how the government is hiding up the truth and basically a propaganda is being driven, and such kind of propaganda is not needed to be taken. So guys, here ample examples of the Hathras incident has been given. But guys, such kind of articles might be good if you want for your inquisitiveness, but for exam they are not relevant. Therefore guys, what I will be doing today, I will be picking up along with the Hindu editorial from the Live Mint as well as from the Indian Express. Now guys, this particular article is a good article. It is talking about the flood forecasting technology. So with the disaster management, this is a very good article. We'll be seeing this thing. Then guys, this article talks about the recent Nobel Prize for the physics which has been given. So guys, already yesterday, if you remember, we have taken a very elaborate discussion on this particular line. Now guys, moving forward, this particular entire article is talking about the Bihar politics, not at all important for our exam. Now guys, here we can see that this article is talking about making India ready for the artificial intelligence. Very good article. This article is from the Indian Express newspaper, so we will be seeing it. After that guys, this particular article talks about the recently announced productivity linked incentive scheme and how it can bring the electronic manufacturing back to India. So guys, this particular article is from the Live Mint. We will also be taking up this particular article. Then guys, moving forward into the newspaper. Now guys, here as we move, we can see that much of the political news with respect to the Hathras incident and all the political elections which are going into the Bihar, it is going on. Now guys, here we can see that India and Japan has finalized the pact for the artificial intelligence and 5G. However, as already we are discussing an article on AI, we'll see that thing. However guys, just the cooperation agreement has been signed up, nothing much more important than this. Then guys, it has been said that the China is going into the gross aggression, and moreover, we have also seen articles on these lines. Guys, you can ignore this particular article. Very one-to-one kind of attack has been made. Now guys, the showcase page, usually the articles are not important here, but guys, today the showcase page, 3 plants have been mentioned which could be important for our exam. Now guys, these are the carnivorous plants. They feast onto the insects because naturally these plants are grown at those places where the condition of soil, nutrition availability is not that much good. Now guys, what are these? Please pay attention here. First of all, it is the pitcher plant. These pitcher plant have the pitfall traps into which the insects fall and then the insects are consumed. After that guys, there is the sundew. Now the sundew is one which basically it has some sticky kind of a solution attached onto the plant, and as the insect will sit onto the plant, it will get struck there. After that, there is Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap, they have basically this is mechanism is there into the Venus flytrap, and as the insect will sit here, this particular trap will close and the insect will die. So guys, again I am repeating, pitcher plant, they have a kind of a basically test tube type of structure where the insect falls. Then the sundew has been there where the kind of a sticky solution, glue type solution is there, and the third is the Venus flytrap which closes just like a hinge. So guys, just please keep it in your mind. Then guys, moving forward, other things not important into the showcase page. Then guys, the World Bank's report has been mentioned here. We'll see that thing. After that guys, moving forward, here we can see that the gene scissors have been mentioned. So guys, Nobel Prize has been given into the chemistry. We'll see this thing. After that guys, this particular article talks about the reforms into the natural gas marketing. We'll see this thing. After that guys, the showcase page, nothing important has been given. So that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now guys, the first article, it pertains to our GS paper number 2 examination, where the issues with respect to the judiciary and fundamental rights have been mentioned. Now guys, this particular news pertains to the recent judgment which has been given by Supreme Court with respect to the Shaheen Bagh protest. Now guys, you might be knowing that when the Citizenship Amendment Act was passed, the protests were carried into the Shaheen Bagh region and they were dispelled only into the aftermath of the pandemic of COVID-19 when the lockdown began. Now guys, for that particular thing, the Supreme Court had said that though under article number 19 subclause 1 subclause B, right to assemble peaceably without arms have been given, and even the Shaheen Bagh protest were an example of an iconic dissent. But guys, this particular protest led to its own problems. And if you know, guys, with respect to the fundamental rights also, there is no absoluteness. All the fundamental rights comes with the reasonable restrictions. And guys, when the right to assemble peaceably is concerned, guys, there also is the condition that the public order should not be disturbed. At the same time, there should not also be the disturbance into the traffic. Because of that, traffic congestion needs not to be there. But guys, because of the Shaheen Bagh protest, both the things happened. It has been observed by the Supreme Court that the occupation of public spaces indefinitely leads to inconvenience. Though Supreme Court had praised the protest, it has said that the democracy and dissent go hand in hand. Shaheen Bagh protests were the example of the dissent of the government's move. But guys, one more thing has to be understood, that this particular movement was a kind of a leaderless movement, and leaderless movement often it has been seen that though they go out of hand, and there could also be a possibility that the Shaheen Bagh might also have gone out of hand. Moreover guys, here one more thing we can observe into the Shaheen Bagh protest. Now guys, it has been said that the Shaheen Bagh protest were digitally fueled leaderless event. So guys, this is a category of the protest which now are being seen. For example, into the Hong Kong, though there were certain people who had taken the charge, but majorly the Hong Kong protests were also the leaderless movements, and throughout the world for different things, somewhere for the right wing, some were for more democratic rights, somewhere for the high-handedness of state, leaderless movement are being fueled, and often the Facebook, Twitter, all these platforms are utilized and a kind of a common place is found. So guys, the protests have taken a new form into the aftermath of the social media. However guys, because of that particular thing, one problem also comes, that such kind of mediums can also be utilized for some ulterior motives. Guys, you might be knowing the demolition of the Babri Masjid. Now guys, the demolition of Babri Masjid was not a kind of a good incident into the Indian democracy. Now guys, such kind of incidents are now more possible because because of accumulating the crowd has become necessarily very easy by these social medias. And guys, a new wave of protest by the social media is also being generated, and the Shaheen Bagh was an example of such kind of digitally fueled leaderless event of dissent, and it is an outcome of digital technology as well as social media. This has been observed again by the Supreme Court. So guys, this is a good attachment with respect to the fundamental rights as how they are being now exercised can be utilized in our GS paper number 2. So guys, that's it, and now let's move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article is very good article, can be utilized in our GS paper number 3 into the questions of the disaster management. Now guys, here into this particular article, the flood control has been talked about. So very good things have been mentioned. Now guys, see, with respect to the flood control, India follows right now the deterministic model. What is this deterministic model? Now guys, here what happens, the Central Water Commission, it provides that right now the water into the dam or the water into the river, it is above the danger mark or it is below the danger mark. It provides information in such as the above danger mark or below danger mark. Moreover guys, this particular model can provide us the time frame also, but guys, the time frame is just 24 hours to 36 hours, but much before the time it can't warn. And guys, it has been said that the deterministic forecast of India is basically very outdated, and therefore there is a need to have a kind of an ensemble forecast which is adopted by the countries such as the USA, European Union as well as Japan. So guys, what is this ensemble forecast? See guys, this ensemble forecast is also clubbed with the inundation modeling. So when these two things are combined, I will tell you what happens. Now guys, this particular model do not only tells that the water is above the danger mark or below the danger mark, rather it also tells that how much percentage is above the danger mark. For example, 10%, 15%, 20%. So a much better realistic picture can be known rather than just by telling that it is simply above or below. Moreover guys, with the inundation modeling, what happens, this particular forecast can also tell that if there is a region, then guys, how much region can be prone to the flooding by a particular event. For example, the village X might be 70% flooded, and the particular regions of the village which will be inundated, that can also be known by this particular ensemble forecast and inundation modeling. So guys, into the article it has been said that every year we see that so many floods are there. This particular year the Bihar floods were there, Assam floods were there, and it is a very recurring kind of phenomena. So India should adopt the ensemble forecast. Now guys, not only the new type of forecast is needed to be adopted, rather there are other issues also. The issue is with respect to the multiple agencies which are involved into the flood forecast. It makes the things more problematic. I will explain you how. See guys, with respect to the forecast, there are two agencies. One is the Indian Meteorological Department. Now other one is the CWC, that is the Central Water Commission. Now IMD gives the information with respect to the weather forecast, that how much rain will be there, how much intensity of rain will be there, and all such kind of things. Now guys, whereas the other agency, that is the CWC, it actually gives the flood warning to the district administration, to the disaster management authorities, and then they take the preventive steps. Now the problem is that when there are two agencies, the coordination between these two agencies, and after the coordination, actual dissemination of information to the district administration, disaster management, it many a time happens to be a very complicated task. So guys, when multiple bodies are there, often the things becomes complicated. Moreover, there is one more problem, that is the technological synchronization. I will give you that example also. Now guys, when we talk about the IMD right now is having 35 advanced Doppler weather radars. Now this advanced Doppler weather radars, they work onto the quantitative precipitation estimate, that is QPE. Now guys, here what they do, just they see the cloud reflectivity. They analyze a cloud, and by that basis they forecast well in advance that how much precipitation or rain could be there. So guys, very well summed, even the days in advance it can tell us the rain. However guys, the CWC, it still depends on to the old correlation statistical method. When the rain will come, then by the statistical model they will analyze whether there could be flooding or not. And in this particular way, CWC maximum just 24 hours before the flood can give the warning. So guys, we can see that what is the benefit, that on one hand we are having such advanced technology, but on another hand we are relying on some such kind of obsolete and old kind of technique. Guys, it has been said that therefore into the CWC substantial reforms are to be carried so that it can work at efficiency. What reform we can do here? So guys, the Google has perfected the artificial intelligence. They had infused artificial intelligence to study the hydrological data, and guys, they can be synchronized with the IMD forecast, and well in advance they can tell that whether the flood could be there or not. So guys, rather than CWC's method, the Google AI needs to be infused with the IMD's forecast. Moreover guys, even the IMD is not 100% perfect. Guys, I had told you that the 35 advanced Doppler weather radars are there, but guys, if seeing the size of India, we need at least 80 to 100 S-band DWR, that is the Doppler weather radars. Guys, USA right now is having 160 next gen S-band Doppler weather radars, but India is having just 35. So we need at least 100 in this particular thing. However guys, IMD along with the Doppler weather radars have done some other good things also. For example, IMD is right now having the two supercomputers, that is the Pratyush and Mihir, which is having the performance capabilities of 6.8 petaflops, and by utilizing them, IMD is perfecting even more accurate ways to give forecast even into the advance. So it's 7 to 8 days advance forecast can also be given by the IMD. However guys, CWC has long way to go, and therefore government should focus on to the CWC if actually disaster management from the flooding is to be carried, because guys, every year we see that it causes huge damage to the life as well as property. So guys, into the flood management, disaster management, all these particular points can make an excellent case study for you, and please do utilize them. So that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article I had taken from the Indian Express newspaper, because guys, when I saw the articles into the Hindu newspaper, very generic kind of articles were there which we had already seen many number of times. Now guys, this particular article talks about the artificial intelligence for India, and some very good examples have been given here. Now if you are following regularly, then guys, already we had seen that the RAISE 2020 summit just took place. Now guys, this RAISE 2020, it stands for Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment, and in this particular summit, large number of countries, think tanks, business entrepreneurs took participation, and even Prime Minister also gave an inaugural address where he talked about algorithmic accountability. All those things we have already seen. Now guys, here with respect to the AI, things have been talked about. By the way guys, this article will be highly utilizable for our GS paper number 3, where the scientific and technological developments have been asked, as well as in economy section also we can utilize it. Now as we are talking about the artificial intelligence, guys, it will drive the 4th industrial revolution. See, till now the 3 industrial revolutions have been completed. First industrial revolution was powered by the coal. Second industrial revolution was powered by the electricity, and the third industrial revolution was powered because of the coming of the internet, and the 4th industrial revolution will be carried by the artificial intelligence, machine learning, internet of things, and all such kind of things. Now guys, it has been said that artificial intelligence will be worth more than $15.7 trillion. Guys, I am saying the trillion by the 2030. Now guys, India has a very special place here. You can see that India has a very young kind of population, Moreover, guys, the technological institutions such as IIT, IISc, etc., also has huge capabilities into the AI. Moreover, India has ranked second onto the Stanford Artificial Intelligence Vibrancy Index, which shows that India has huge capabilities. Therefore, guys, we need to utilize AI into the Indian growth trajectory. Now, see, when we talk about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, it has to be fused with the big data. Now, guys, what is big data? Big data is a massive pile of data which is being generated right now by the help of the internet. Whenever you talk about the big data, it is characterized by three V's. One is the velocity, because this data is generated so rapidly. Second V is about the variety. Different types of data are there. And the third one is the volume, that is huge quantity of the data. Now the data is very discrete, this data is not having any pattern. By artificial intelligence, we can make sense of that particular data, and from there the entire magic begins. So guys, artificial intelligence plus big data can bring huge benefits, and India need to work here. Now, what benefits it can bring? For example, guys, if we talk about health, see, every day so much of the health data is being generated. Guys, we can early detect the pandemic if it can happen into the future. Secondly, guys, artificial intelligence, for example, into the Bangalore, a non-invasive breast cancer early detection module has also been seen. Now, guys, the people who had developed the breast cancer before the development of that cancer, they had a specific condition into their breast, and by feeding the computer modules with thousands and lakhs of such scans which were before the breast cancer, a kind of a pattern can be made by AI, and on to that particular basis early detection can be carried. Then, guys, MyGov, that is the MyGov start had established a chatbot on which they answered the queries with respect to the pandemic. And similarly, the ICMR also installed the Watson assistant onto their platform, by which they answered the queries of the health professionals with respect to the treatment and the pandemic. So guys, the government at 2 points we had seen that had installed the chatbot and Watson assistant, both were the artificial intelligence based. Then, guys, the most important benefit can come for the pharmaceutical sector. Guys, right now when when the pharma sector wants to make a medicine, it has to study hundreds, thousands of combinations, and studying those combinations, seeing the efficacy of those combinations can take so many years for the drug development. But by utilizing the AI, such combinations can be studied even into the weeks time, or even into a couple of days. So therefore, the drug development can be very much made very fast, and so much of the life threatening diseases can be dealt by it. So guys, there is huge benefit into the health front. After that, when we talk about the agriculture, guys, into the agriculture, intelligent monitoring can be carried by the AI. For example, the drones fitted by the artificial intelligence, they can survey the fields aerially and can notify if there is weed growth. Secondly, guys, the intelligent monitoring AI, they can themselves sense the moisture into the soil and can start the basically watering the field. All such kind of things can be done. Secondly, guys, the voice based vernacular products can also be made. Now the farmers needs a lot of assistance, that when the rain will be coming, they need assistance, that what type of fertilizer, pesticides need to be used. Now there are so many regional languages, and having the human personnel for all those languages might not be possible. So the artificial intelligence can provide them the solutions, and this particular thing is already being done into the Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, Rajkot, Gujarat, and the Nanded, Maharashtra. Fine, guys, so that is the thing. Then, guys, there is one more example that I can give you, that is by the International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics. So ICRISAT, it has made an AI powered sowing app. Now guys, this particular application, the farmers can know then that what is the best time to sow the seeds. So they can analyze the rainfall when it will be coming, they will analyze the crop, and will see that what type of rain moisture it needs, and can recommend such kind of things. Now, guys, often we talk about doubling the farmer's income. So earlier the target of doubling the farmer's income was 2022. Now it has been shifted to 2024. Now, however, guys, if even 2024 target is to be achieved, farmers price discovery, price realization is to be increased, and in that particular capacity, providing them assistance in this particular way will be very helpful. After that, guys, it has been said that for the flood forecast also the AI can be utilized. It has tested in Bihar and had shown huge benefits into the Bihar. And guys, if utilized onto the pan country level, then more than 200 million people can get the benefit of it. After that, guys, the education sector. So into the education sector, guys, we can see that CBSE is actively working to include AI into their curriculums so that education can be made much more fun living to the students. After that, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology had started Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Youth program. Under this, guys, they are training the youths into learning AI so that they can be future ready and can get the meaningful employment. So guys, here we have seen that into the different domains the artificial intelligence can bring the much benefit. And if I talk specifically about India, then guys, it has been said that $957 billion of benefit can be gained by India by 2035, and by 2025 20 million jobs can be created by the artificial intelligence. So therefore, guys, we need to reap artificial intelligence. However, there is one problem also, that guys, even till today we don't have the personal data protection bill. Now, as I have already told you here, that the AI works with the big data, and guys, when we are working with so much of the data, personal data or the privacy of the citizens need to also to be protected. So therefore, the legislation loophole is there which government should work as soon as possible. So guys, that's all about this particular article. I hope you have got much better insights for GS paper number 3. So that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Guys, this particular article I have taken from the Mint newspaper, which is published by the HT Group. And guys, a very good article has been given here with respect to our GS paper number 3. Now guys, you know that in GS paper number 3, economy has been talked about, and within economy, Make in India is a very important plan. Now, within Make in India, we focus on to the manufacturing regime. Now guys, along with the manufacturing under Make in India, into the aftermath of the pandemic, government also brought out the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So guys, right now what government is doing? Government is moving forward with the Atmanirbharta in the manufacturing. So on that particular thing, this article is important. Now, first of all, before going into the article, I will tell you some background. Now guys, what happened? In 2019, government brought the National Policy on Electronics. Now this National Policy on Electronics aimed that $400 billion worth of turnover needs to be reached by 2025 by the Indian electronic industry. Guys, you know that we don't have any considerable presence into the electronic sector. Now guys, this particular thing was going on, but just a few days back, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology had started the PLI scheme, that is Production Linked Incentive Scheme. Now guys, here it has been said that 4 to 6% of incentive will be given to the electronic manufacturing industries. Now guys, how this 4 to 6% incentive will be calculated? It will be calculated over the incremental sale. Now just assume guys that into the base year, that is 2019-20, if a firm made goods worth rupees 1 lakh, now into the next year, if it is making of 2 lakh, so 1 lakh rupees additional increment has been done. So on that particular thing, 4 to 6% of incentive will be given. Now guys, seeing the competitiveness into the electronic sector, such incentive is very huge. And guys, for the next 5 years, this particular scheme will be going on, and by this, government aims to attract much larger number of industries into the Indian manufacturing regime. Moreover guys, it has been said that if everything goes good, then nearly 10.5 trillion rupees output can be enhanced, and guys 60% of our this particular output will be exported. So guys, much needed forex will come, our India's current account deficit will improve, moreover India will make a considerable place into the electronic sector also. Now guys, what has happened just now, under the PLI scheme 11 global manufacturers have been qualified, which includes the giants such as the Foxconn and Samsung. Now guys, particularly Foxconn is very important, because if you know guys, most of the Apple iPhones, even the Samsung products, LG products, they are manufactured by the Foxconn. It is one of the largest electronic manufacturer of the world. So guys, they have applied under the PLI and they have been selected, and probably into the coming years time they will be starting their manufacturing into the India. Moreover, Apple has also shown the interest into the PLI scheme, and might be Apple also be enhancing their manufacturing of electronics motivated by the incentives given by the PLI. Now guys, domestic manufacturers such as the Lava and Micromax has also been qualified under the PLI scheme. Now this particular thing is a very good in order to capture the sentiments of the electronic industries. Now it becomes even more important guys, because the Tesla, manufacturer of the Tesla car, which is an electronic car, it has also shown interest to enter the Indian market, and given such incentive, Tesla might very well soon be coming to the India, and India might become a global hub for the electronic manufacturer into the both categories, as into the electronic goods such as mobile phones as well as for the cars also. Now guys, it has been said that India right now might get even more benefit because of the China Plus factor. Now what is the China Plus? Guys, world over the great decoupling is being talked about. The great decoupling means that the countries, the companies should move away from China, and their supply chain and all those things should be shifted to other countries. Even Japan is running a specific program, that is the Supply Chain Resilience Initiative. So guys, the China Plus is a very big factor, and the next viable option is India. So India here is also getting the benefit. Guys, one very good expression has been used here, that is the bamboo curtain. Now what is this bamboo curtain? Guys, it was said that during the Cold War there was an iron curtain between the USSR as well as the USA. Now it has been said the bamboo curtain has fallen between the USA and the China because of the recent confrontation that is going on, and therefore the companies as well as the countries, they don't want to antagonize USA, and therefore they are shifting from China because of the bamboo curtain, and the viable option again is India. But guys, if we still see onto the ground, then guys, still the road is very bumpy, because recently a survey was done and it was asked from the 200 of the US firms that whether they will relocate back to USA, and only 4% firms said that they will leave China and will go to USA. So guys, still the China's clout is much more. So now how we will attract the manufacturing into India? Guys, the PLI is good, but the implementation is even more important, and we need to see that whether implementation is carried or not. Moreover guys, India need to work on 3L, that is the land, because often the land acquisition becomes very much problematic. Labor, though government brought the labor code bills, however guys, those labor codes bills are being criticized, and even there it has to be seen whether they'll get implemented or not. And the laws with respect to the taxation and all such kind of things. And guys, India could be a very well be established as a manufacturing of the electronics, and PLI can be very much instrumental in it. So guys, this article is about this particular thing. I hope you have understood, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular news pertains to the Nobel Prize into the chemistry. Guys, first of all, on to the yesterday's newspaper, that is on to the 7th of October, I have told you all the facts and issues associated with the Nobel Prize, as how it is given and all those kind of things. If you have not seen, you can refer to it. Now guys, already we had seen the Nobel Prize into the medicine as well as the physics, and today we will be seeing the Nobel Prize into the chemistry. So the Nobel Prize have been given to the Jennifer Doudna as well as Emmanuel Carpentier. Now they have been given the Nobel Prize for the gene scissors. Guys, many a times you might have heard about the CRISPR, or the gene editing. Now guys, what happens, you might be knowing about the DNA. So guys, DNA contains all the genetic information. Guys, DNA contains your traits, it contains that what will be your physiology, etc. Now guys, what happens many times, the parents, they are having some kind of hereditary disease, and that disease also it is passed to their children because they carry the DNA which is derived from their parents. Now guys, because of this particular thing, so many life threatening problems happen. Now there could be a solution to that particular thing. That is guys, if we can identify, now see, DNA is made up of a very big huge code. Now if we can identify that particular portion of our DNA which is containing the code due to which the physiological problems into the body are emerging, then guys, there could be some solution. What we can do, we can identify that part, then guys, we can simply cut away that part and can replace that part with a proper genetic code. And guys, such gene editing can be done by the CRISPR, where the Cas9 bacteria is used. So guys, it acts as a molecular scissor and such life threatening problems can be rectified. Now guys, I had made this particular thing very simplified so that you can understand it if you don't have any particular background. However guys, many a times I see that the students, they go in so much of the technicalities. You are actually not required to go into that much of technicalities, because specifically into the science and tech, the questions with respect to the application as well as the dominant themes is asked. Now guys, by the CRISPR-Cas9, the innovative treatment has been identified which will improve the quality of life, and therefore it is a very important contribution. However, as we are talking about the gene editing, there are certain ethical problems also with the gene editing, and the most prominent example I can give you is the He Jiankui affair. Now what was this affair, guys? Here one scientist into the China, by the gene editing, he made a designer baby by guys using this genetic scissor, he silenced some of the traits which were not required. Now because of that thing, this particular thing, when it came to the notice, then onto the entire world level, there was a very big controversy. Even China banned that scientist, and guys, from there it was said that the gene editing should not be practiced onto the regular basis. However, onto the other hand, there are also people who say that what is the problem in practicing gene editing if it can have such kind of impacts. So guys, when we talk about the ethics of the gene editing, there is guys one group of people which talk that the human life is most blessed kind of existence, and as nature had made a human in a particular way, we don't have any right in making an intervention into his divine makeup. Whereas other people say that no, such kind of thinking is bad, rather if we can help them, then by gene editing we should do that thing. But there is again one problem, that what if into the future by this gene editing some particular kind of babies are being made, then guys, the entire meaning of the life will be lost. So guys, with this gene editing, possibilities are much, but ethical issues are also there. So guys, both of them has been given the Nobel Prize in chemistry for the CRISPR. So guys, that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, here we can see that recently the World Bank had published the Biennial Poverty and Shared Prosperity Report. Now into this particular report, World Bank had said that 88 to 115 million people might now be pushed into the extreme poverty due to the pandemic which has started. Now when the extreme poverty they say, they mean that these people might not be having even $1.5 a day for their sustenance, and it will be bringing other problems also, for example the hunger, malnutrition and all such kind of problems. Guys, it has been said that the pandemic had started a kind of a recession, and because of that particular recession, 1.4% of the entire world's population might be falling into the extreme poverty. Now guys, it has been said that the 82% of these poor people will be into the middle income group category countries. Now guys, India is a example of the middle income group country. Now the middle income group countries are those which are having the less than 12,000 per capita income. This is the definition given by the World Bank. India is also a middle income country, so guys, India will also be having a severe impact. So there it is being said that government needs to work very actively, and guys, India also has a problem, that is the lack of data. Because of this particular thing also, India specific findings were not properly carried. However, anyhow guys, in this particular thing, government needs to take a very active step. And what steps can be there? So guys, number one could be that we can explore the universal basic income, into which we gave the unconditional cash transfers to everyone. It can also act as a fiscal stimulus, also already we had discussed. After that guys, there could also be a possibility that the universalization of the PDS could be carried, so that the marginal workers and the people who are living into the other states but they don't have the ration cards, they can also get the food. Guys, we talk about the one nation one ration card, but guys, the implementation of one nation one ration card is very far. Therefore the universal PDS can be explored. Moreover guys, on to the third front, government needs to increase much voluntary transfers to the people, so that they can raise their aggregate demand, and by that demand the supply can be improved, and by when the supply will improve, automatically it will provide more of employment. And guys, at the end, we also need to work into the skilling, so that the demographic dividend of India can be reaped. There are so many young people who are not able to find meaningful jobs, and they are also being pushed into the poverty, but that is our asset, we need to utilize them. So guys, just as a reference, you can quote this World Bank's Biennial Poverty and Shared Prosperity report. Please keep it in your mind. So guys, that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular news is important for our GS paper number 3, infrastructure as well as energy. Now guys, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has gave its approval for the natural gas marketing reforms. Now guys, when we talk about the natural gas, it is very important because government had unveiled the vision for the gas based economy. Now, the gas based economy means that the share of natural gas needs to be much more in our energy mix, as it can drive India's growth trajectory. Guys, if I give you the data for the present time, then our major reliance for energy is over the oil as well as coal, and 57% and 30% of the total primary energy supply comes from the coal and oil. From coal it is 57%, and from oil it is 30%. Guys, the share of the gas is very much low. Why? Because the gas exploration and all that kind of things has enough of the limitations. So therefore guys, in order to remove those limitations, government had now decided that the gas blocks will be allocated onto a standardized bidding, which can be taken place via e-bidding platform. So in this particular way, guys, the exploration of the gas can be improved, and by that particular thing, much needed energy scarcity of India can be rectified, and even government will be getting the better realization. So guys, as we had seen the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, then guys, when it came, I told you that government is also working as how Atmanirbharta in energy can also be made. So in that particular step, guys, the standardized bidding and e-bidding platform for the natural gas is a very important task. So guys, that's all about this particular issue. I hope you have understood it, and now we'll go to the question section. Guys, please pause the video and try to answer the question. Moreover guys, you can also attend these questions onto our Telegram channel. Now guys, the question number 1 is with respect to the Sagittarius A star, guys, and the black hole. Please read this statement and identify the correct code. Question number 2 is with respect to the Codes of Wages Act 2020. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 3 is with respect to the Consolidated Fund of India. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. And question number 4 is with respect to the distributed ledger technology. Please read the statement and identify the right option. So guys, that's all for today's newspaper discussion. I hope you have liked the video. Thank you so much.